Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Tropical Update number 12 on Tropical Storm Elsa. Now, so the memes have begun. In case you guys didn't realize that, Tropical Storm watches and warnings in effect for much of the Lesser Antilles. So let's get right into it. Current satellite presentation of Elsa. We've seen better, we've seen worse, but a good amount of convection nonetheless with the system this morning and even overnight last night. Thus, its upgrade to a tropical storm. We do have tropical storm warnings in effect for Barbados, Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Tropical storm watches in effect for Guadeloupe, Grenada, and its dependencies. Elsa is, once again, like I said, going to make its way towards Lesser Antilles, potentially the Greater Antilles, and then maybe the United States. So we're keeping our eye on the Florida Keys in South Florida as we head into next week. It's also the earliest fifth named storm on record, beating out Edward. We'll talk more about that at the end of this update. As we see, earliest reasonable time of arrival for tropical storm force winds Sunday night for South Florida. But again, the more imminent threat is going to be Friday early morning for the Lesser Antilles, where 3 to 6 inches of rain are expected for many of those islands, potentially 10 inches in some areas. Puerto Rico is going to be next up on the list, 1 to 3 inches of rain, isolated up to 5. As we take a look at the spaghetti models, we see that, there's considerable spread. We have an out to sea Bahamian storm. We have a straight up the gut to South Florida, where I'm going to be at, storm. And we have a go into the Gulf of Mexico and hit the Florida Panhandle type storm. And also the intensity forecast all over the place. Some border on a major hurricane, others keep this as a minimal tropical storm. So the National Hurricane Center splitting the difference towards the lower edge of the intensity guidance, taking about the middle path in terms of the track. I think we're going to be a strong tropical storm, potentially hurricane force, but we'll see exactly what happens over the next few days. And then by the time we get to the United States, it's really so uncertain. It's too early to say much of anything as to impacts. As you see here, just to hammer home the spread of the models today, again, anywhere from the Bahamas and out to sea to Louisiana. The same thing on the other side of this graphic, this one all the way over to Texas and out to sea. So lots and lots of spread as we continue to watch this system. We'll have a really good idea probably tomorrow night, around then, as to where Elsa is going to go. If we take a look at the European ensemble members, we see lots of the same idea going on here. Again, the European model is now trending generally out to sea. So that's good news if you're a fan of the European model, but the European model has not been that great on Tropical Storm Elsa this year, up to this point in its life. So we'll see exactly what happens. Again, a lot can still change, but that's something we're watching right now. Here's the GFS model for Elsa. We do see it end up taking that panhandle track to Florida, which I think the majority of the models are currently going with is a Florida panhandle type storm, scraping parts of western Cuba, perhaps Jamaica going to get hit hard before heading up to the Florida panhandle. The bad news is with this type of storm is that it has no interaction with the mountainous, or minimal interaction, if any, to the mountainous terrain of the Greater Antilles and Hispaniola and Cuba, which means that minimal weakening of this storm is going to occur, which means that the storm will remain relatively strong, potentially a hurricane or stronger than a Category 1, as it makes its way into both Jamaica and Cuba, and eventually potentially the United States as well. So just something we're going to keep an eye on over the next few days as we continue to learn more about where Elsa may go. As I mentioned, Elsa is the earliest named fifth named storm, ahead of Edward by 5 days, which set a record last year, ahead of Emily, which beat Emily by 6 days. So if Elsa were to occur 2 years ago, it would have beat the record by over a week and a half. And Elsa now breaking a record by 5 days is still significant. But the fact that we had 2 storms break that record in back-to-back years is quite big. And you see the list there. There's a good amount of potential for us to set more records as 2021 continues. Anyways, guys, here's your final graphic. Again, we'll have another update around this time tomorrow. And again on Saturday, several more updates going to continue as needed there. And there's a final look at the cone and current watches and warnings in effect. Anyways, guys, that's all for now. Chris Dixon, InfoWeather, Catholic Media.